Welcome to Story Hour Adventures.
Instructions.
To select options, point to them with the Wii Remote and press the A button. Press the A button on the Wii Remote to continue.
It seems like pretty simple instructions. What is Story Hour?
Story Hour is an interactive storybook where the viewer can choose different actions for the various characters or interact in certain scenes using the Wii Remote. Press the A button on the Wii Remote to continue.
Hi, Mel. Thank you.
There are 4 separate stories to choose from, and each story has 2 chapters. You can select these stories and chapters from the main menu. Press the A button on the Wii Remote to continue. As you progress through a story, you will encounter scenes which give you a choice of how to proceed. Press the A button on the Wii Remote to continue. Each of these choices will show you a different outcome for the scene. No choice is ever a wrong choice, and you will always continue on with the main part of the story. Press the A button on the Wii Remote to continue. In some cases, you may be asked to interact with a scene using the Wii Remote to help a story character complete a task. Press the A button on the Wii Remote to continue. Different scenes involve different types of interaction. Clear instructions will be given at the beginning of each scene when it occurs. Press the A button on the Wii Remote to continue.
You know, these instructions could have dealt without the press the A button to continue thing for every single little page here. Press the A button.
If you ever need help while a story is in progress, wait for 20 seconds and a special help button will appear. Point at this button with the Wii Remote and press the A button to bring up more information. Press the A button on the Wii Remote to continue. When the next arrow is highlighted, you can point to it with the Wii Remote and press A to continue the story. Press the A button on the Wii Remote to continue. When the previous arrow is highlighted, you can point to it with the Wii Remote and press A to go back one step. Press the A button on the Wii Remote to continue.
Oh, you don't want to narrate this. You're done talking.
you can change how the story progresses in the Options menu. With Style B selected, the pages will turn automatically when the narration finishes, so the story can be experienced from start to finish without requiring additional input from the viewer. Press the A button on the Wii Remote to continue. If you ever need help while a story is in progress, wait for 20 seconds and a special Help button will appear. Point at this button with the Wii Remote and press the A button to bring up more information. Press the A button on the Wii Remote to continue.
It is a visual novel, though, Jamie Pensmont. It's an interactive story, and it changes regardless, depending on what you pick. So the story doesn't stay the same. So whatever you pick kind of folds the story. And there's 4 of them.
Jack and the Beanstalk. A long time ago, in a magical land far away, on a quiet little farm, lived an old widow, her son Jack, and their cow. Every morning Jack woke up, jumped out of bed, and took the cow's milk to market to be sold. One day the cow gave no milk. "What are we going to do?" asked Jack's mother. "We have no money, and we've been unable to find you a job on any of the farms nearby." "Don't worry, Mother," said Jack confidently. "I'll take the cow to market, sell her, and we will see what we can do." So Jack went out into the garden to find the cow.
Can you help Jack find the cow? Point to objects on the screen with the Wii Remote and press the A button to see where the cow is hiding. There we are. Now Jack is ready for his trip to the market.
Jack and the cow walked down the dusty old path leading from his house and made their way towards the local town where the market was held. When Jack and the cow were halfway to the market, they met a kindly old man who stopped them on the road. "Good morning, Jack," said the old man. "Where are you off to on this fine day?" Jack wondered how the old man knew his name. "I'm off to market to sell my cow," replied Jack. The cow let out a loud moo. "You look like a smart fellow," said the old man. "I have an offer for you. I have some beans, but they're very special magic beans. I'll swap you a handful of my magic beans for your cow." "That's a terrible trade," said Jack. "My cow is worth much more than some old beans. What makes them so special?" The old man smiled at Jack. "Well, if you put these in the ground, then by the next morning they'll grow right up to the sky." "And if that doesn't happen," continued the old man, "then you can have the cow back." "Right," said Jack, and he took a handful of beans from the old man.
Can you help Jack count the beans? Point to each bean using the Wii remote and press the A button to count it. That's 1 bean, 2 beans, 3 beans, 4 beans, 5 beans,
6 beans. Ooh.
6 magic beans.
Jack said goodbye to the old man, left his cow, and headed back home to his mother. When Jack arrived home, his mother asked him how much money he managed to get for the cow. "You'll never guess, Mother," said Jack. "5 coins? 10 coins? Not 20 coins?" she asked excitedly. "No, I mean, you'll never be able to guess, Mother. You see, I met this old man who gave me some magical beans." "What?" cried his mother. "You traded our only cow for beans, you fool!" And with that she grabbed the beans and went to throw them out of the window.
Can you help Jack's mother get rid of the beans? Grasp each bean with the A button on the Wii remote and release it at the edge of the screen to throw it away.
Throwing beans away.
1, 2.
Why won't we go to the window? I guess, whatever. Sure, we throw it to the stairs, throw it out the window.
3, 4, 5, and that makes 6.
The beans landed in the soft soil outside of the window and magically started to sink downwards into the ground. That night, Jack was sent to bed without any supper. The next morning, Jack woke up and the room looked different. The sun was shining outside, but only a little light managed to get into his bedroom. Jack rushed outside to see what was blocking the window. Jack couldn't believe what he saw. The magical beans that his mother threw out of the window the day before had grown into a huge beanstalk, which reached all the way up to the clouds. Jack raced back into the house, up to his bedroom, and over to the bedroom window.
Can you help Jack get to the beanstalk? Point to the bedroom window with the Wii remote and press the A button to help Jack open it. Quick, Jack! Out the window!
Jack grabbed onto the huge beanstalk outside his window and started to climb.
That makes sense. Nothing to hold on. You fall down. That's not a good idea. Oh boy. Nothing. No safety measures.
Jack climbed and climbed and climbed some more. When Jack reached the top of the beanstalk, he found a magical land which stretched as far as he could see. In front of him were 3 paths leading off into the distance.
Help Jack choose which path to follow. Point to a path with the Wii remote and press the A button to select it.
Let's go to the right.
Jack walked through the forest where he saw all manner of strange birds in the trees. They sang to him as he walked past. When Jack finally reached the end of the path, he was quite surprised to find a huge house. Outside the house stood a very tall woman. "Good morning," Jack called out, being as polite as possible. "I'm quite hungry. I didn't have supper last night, and I just climbed quite a way. Would you be able to give me some breakfast?" "You're after breakfast, are you?" replied the very tall woman. "Well, you better be running along, or it'll be you that'll end up as breakfast. My husband is an ogre, and there's nothing he likes more than a little boy broiled on toast." "I'll probably collapse from hunger before your husband gets a chance to eat me for breakfast," replied Jack. Now, the ogre's wife had a kind heart, so she took him into the kitchen and gave him a chunk of bread, a slice of cheese, and a glass of milk. Suddenly, the house started to shake. Thump! 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 "Oh no," said the ogre's wife. "It's my husband. Quick, hide!"
Jack needs to hide, and quickly. Can you help Jack hide behind the bookcase? When you find the bookcase, point to it with the Wii remote
Oh,
and press the A button.
you're not gonna let me choose where to hide? Okay, fine.
Here's a good place to hide.
Just as the ogre opened the door, Jack dived behind the bookcase in the corner of the room. The ogre made his way to the kitchen to see his wife. "What is that smell?" boomed the ogre. "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll have his bones to grind my bread." "Don't be silly, dear," said the ogre's wife. "You're imagining things. You should have some breakfast." So the ogre sat down and hungrily ate his breakfast while Jack hid nearby. After breakfast, the ogre pulled some old cloth bags full of gold coins from a chest and started to count his gold. Soon his head began to nod and he fell asleep. Jack snuck out from behind the bookcase and up to the sleeping giant. He slowly reached out and grabbed one of the bags of gold, then made his way to the door. Outside the house, Jack sprinted as fast as he possibly could down the path and back to the beanstalk. As he reached it, the bag of gold split open and gold coins spilled all over the ground.
Can you help Jack pick up the gold coins off the floor? Point to each of the 6 coins with the Wii remote and press the A button.
Big gold coins.
That's 1 coin,
Big bag too.
2 coins,
All the animals were like, oh no, staring like, what is this?
3, 4, 5 coins. Nearly there. 6 coins. Now Jack has all the coins.
When Jack had picked up all the gold coins, he climbed back down the beanstalk. When he reached the house, he showed his mother the gold and told her all about his adventure. Jack and his mother lived happily for a while, until one day when Jack decided to climb back up the beanstalk to see what other adventures he could have.
More bad ideas. Why would you do that? Oh well, I'd move from there, honestly.
And so he climbed and climbed and climbed. And in no time he found himself back outside the ogre's house, where the ogre's wife was once again standing. "Good morning," said Jack, being as polite as possible. "Would you be able to spare some breakfast? I'm starving." "Run along, little boy," said the ogre's wife, "or my husband will eat you up for breakfast. Aren't you the boy who came here before? a bag of gold went missing that day." That's certainly strange," replied Jack. "I might know something about it, but I'm so hungry I can't possibly speak until I've had something to eat." So the ogre's wife took Jack inside and gave him some breakfast.
I have no idea, Kev. It's an animated storybook with choices and stuff. Jack's be in trouble right now, though.
But before Jack could touch his breakfast, the house began to shake. "It's my husband! Quick, hide!" cried the woman.
Quick! Jack needs to hide again. Point to the red pot with the Wii remote and press the A button. Good job. The ogre will never find Jack here.
Red pawn, huh? Okay.
Jack had just vanished behind the plant pot when the ogre burst through the door to the house. "What is that smell?" asked the ogre. "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman." "I don't know what you're talking about," said the wife. "You should sit down and have some breakfast." So once again the ogre ate his breakfast, and after he finished he pulled a magical hen out of a cage which sat nearby. "Lay!" ordered the ogre, and the hen laid a beautiful golden egg. Soon after, the ogre fell fast asleep, and the house shook with his snoring. Jack came out from behind the plant pot and slowly crept his way over to the hen.
Can you help Jack catch the hen which lays the golden eggs? Point to the hen with the Wii remote and press the A button to catch it. Good work! Time for Jack to escape.
However, just as Jack ran towards the door with the hen, it let out a loud cluck and woke up the ogre. Jack dared not look back and sprinted out of the house and towards the beanstalk before the ogre could see him. Jack climbed back down the beanstalk and showed the magical hen to his mother, who was very, very happy. Time passed, and once again Jack decided to see what adventures he could find up the beanstalk. He woke early one morning and opened up the window in his bedroom.
Jack never learns. No.
Can you help Jack get to the beanstalk? Point to the window with the Wii remote and press the A button to help Jack open it. Look, there's the beanstalk.
Once again he climbed and climbed until he reached the top of the beanstalk. This time he was sure that the ogre's wife wouldn't be happy to see him, so he hid in some bushes near the house. When the ogre's wife came outside to get some water from the well, Jack crept inside and hid under the table.
Now he's not even asking him to go inside. He's just like, well, I'm sneaking in now and see what I can do.
Jack hadn't been there for long when he heard the usual thump, thump, thump of the ogre returning home, and into the house walked the ogre and his wife. "What is that smell?" asked the ogre. "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman." "That must be the boy who stole your gold and your hen," cried the ogre's wife, and they ran around the house trying to find Jack.
Can you help Jack distract the ogre and his wife? Remember the red plant pot and the bookcase where Jack hid during his previous adventures? Point at each of them with the Wii remote and press the A button to get the ogre to check again. Rah!
Ah.
Where is he?
Luckily for Jack, they didn't check the one place where he was hidden, safely under the table. "Well," said the ogre's wife, "your nose must be playing up again because he isn't here. Sit down and have some breakfast."
No one would ever check under the table.
So the ogre sat down and ate his breakfast, but every so often he would check somewhere else in the room for Jack, and then sit down again looking confused. Luckily for Jack, not once did he check under the table. "Bring me my golden harp," said the ogre. So his wife brought it over and placed it on the table in front of him. "Sing," said the ogre, and the harp started to play the most beautiful melody Jack had ever heard. Soon the ogre fell asleep, and the house was once again filled with the booming sound of his snoring. Jack crept out from under the table and, as quietly as he possibly could, made his way towards the ogre. When Jack reached the golden harp, he quickly grabbed it. However, the harp started to call for its master, and the ogre woke up with a start.
You've done it now, Jack. Look what you did. You get followed now.
The ogre looked down to see Jack running towards the door, carrying the golden harp, and quickly ran after him. Jack raced through the door and towards the beanstalk, with the ogre following him.
Quick! Help Jack outrun the ogre. Swing the Wii remote up and down to make Jack run faster, so he doesn't get caught. Keep running, Jack. The ogre is getting closer. Almost there. You made it.
Jack reached the beanstalk and started to climb down as fast as he could. All the time, the golden harp cried out to the ogre. The ogre soon reached the beanstalk and started to climb down after Jack. Jack continued to climb, his heart racing. The ogre continued to chase him, and the golden harp continued to cry out for its master. When Jack was nearly home, he shouted out for his mother to bring him an axe.
Oh no. Oh boy.
Jack's mother heard his cries and ran out of their house carrying an axe. Jack jumped off the beanstalk, dropped the harp, grabbed the axe, and started to chop at the base of the beanstalk.
Steals all the stuff and tries to make a grand escape. And they don't even know where this is going to fall when they chop this. It's like leaning towards the house.
Can you help Jack chop down the beanstalk? Swing the Wii remote left or right in a chopping motion to help Jack. Hurry! The ogre is coming. Nice swing. Do it again. It's halfway there. Just one more swing. You did it. Well done.
Jack chopped and chopped, and very soon the giant beanstalk started to topple. The giant beanstalk fell to the ground with a huge thump, which was heard for miles around. The ogre landed deep in a forest nearby, and just like the old man who sold Jack the magic beans, he was never seen again. Jack showed his mother the golden harp, and along with the hen which laid the golden eggs, they lived happily ever after. The end.
The end, huh? Oh, the morals of this one.
The Three Brothers.
Three brothers.
There was once a man who had 3 sons, and had little else in the world apart from the beautiful house they lived in together. His 3 sons were born and raised in the house, and all had many happy memories of the building. In the hot summer, they would spend afternoons playing together in the garden. happy as could be. Their favourite game was hide and seek, which they played with their father.
Are you guys learning things today? I hope you're learning things.
Can you help the father find the 3 brothers who are hidden in the garden? When you find one of them, point at him with the Wii remote and press the A button. Here's the first brother. Found another one. You found all 3 brothers.
In the cold winter, they would spend afternoons playing together in their bedroom, and even though it was bitterly cold outside, the brothers couldn't have been happier. Point to one of the brothers with the Wii remote and press the A button to watch him play with his toys. The eldest brother would sit and play with his farm set for hours and hours, and particularly loved to play with his toy horses. As the father grew older, he wondered to which of his sons he would leave his house after he passed away. He was incredibly fond of all of them, and always tried to treat them equally, but in this situation he didn't know how to be fair. He could have sold the house and split the money between his sons, but the building had belonged to his father and his father's father, and more than anything, he wanted to keep it in the family. For many days the old man worried, and paced around the house, and worried some more. And then suddenly an idea came to him.
I'm not familiar with this one at all. I don't know how this one's going to play out.
The following morning he went to his son's bedroom and knocked on the door to wake them up.
Can you help the father? Swing the Wii remote up and down to knock on the door and wake his sons up. They must not have heard. These boys sure are lazy this morning. I think that woke them up. Well done.
When the brothers came down to the kitchen, their father was pacing around, obviously excited about something. They sat down at the breakfast table, and he told them his idea. Go out into the world and find a trade. Learn this trade to the best of your ability, and then return home to me, he said. Whoever has become the best at his particular chosen trade will have the house after I die.
Look at that beard. That's like, how do you get a zebra striped beard? Like, look at that. How do you do that? Who dyes the beard like that? Hey, Timsy. It's alright. It's a visual novel kind of thing with choices and then actions.
The brothers looked at each other and then all agreed that this was the best idea they had heard in a long time. They discussed between them all the different trades they could learn. The eldest brother decided to become a farrier and to be able to put shoes on horses quicker than anyone else in the kingdom. The second brother decided to become a barber. He was quite intent on becoming the fastest and most skilled barber for miles around. The youngest brother decided to become a fencing master and to be able to control a sword better than anyone else in the land. So the brothers shook hands, agreed on a date that they would once again meet up at their father's house, and set off. As each brother went out into the land, they were each lucky enough to quickly find a master in their chosen trade who could teach them the skills they needed. The eldest brother learned quickly how to put shoes on horses, and immediately showed his master that he was very skilled. Indeed, the most skilled apprentice the man had ever known of.
Can you help the eldest brother put some shoes on this horse?
Oh boy.
Point at each of the horse's hooves with the Wii remote and press the A button to put a shoe on it.
How exciting.
That's 1, 2, that's 3. The horse has all 4 of its shoes.
Within months, the brother was taking care of the king's most prized horses and was convinced that he would win the house easily. The second brother found a master barber in a local town and, like his older brother, quickly showed his skill in his chosen craft.
Can you help the brother cut the customer's hair? Quickly swing the Wii remote left and right until he's finished the haircut. That's not quite right.
Huh?
Getting better, but it still needs some work. A few more touches and we're done. There, what a wonderful haircut.
In no time at all, the brother was known throughout the kingdom as the best barber around, and with his new skills was sure he would win the house from his father. The final brother found a famous fencing master who could teach him all the skills with a sword that he would ever need. The master agreed to teach him and was amazed at the youngest brother's natural skill. Within the year, his skills with a sword were incredible. One day, with only a few shakes of his wrist, he used his sword to carve a beautiful picture of a house in some hung fabric.
Quickly swing the Wii remote left and right to help the brother create his artwork. What could he be doing?
With Zorro?
My,
We're making a
confident
rectangle?
lines. I'm starting to see a pattern here. Amazing.
House, of course.
Such a beautiful image
I want
of
the
a
house, huh?
house.
Some time passed, and the brothers returned to their father's house. They sat outside under the shade of a beautiful apple tree to discuss what to do next. You see, the original plan had a problem that nobody had noticed. The brothers had no easy way to show their newly learnt skills to their father. Suddenly, a rabbit appeared in the field next to the house. The brothers watched as it sprinted through the grass as fast as it could. "I have an idea," shouted the middle brother as he suddenly jumped to his feet. He grabbed his bowl of shaving soap and shaving kit and sprinted after the rabbit.
Oh boy, what are you doing? Oh boy.
As he ran through the field alongside the rabbit, he deftly covered her with shaving soap and started to trim her fur.
Can you help the brother trim the rabbit's fur and prove his skill? Point at the shaving soap with the Wii remote and hold down the A button to clear it all away. So far, so good. You're doing great. Keep going. What amazing precision.
What the heck did you do to the rabbit? Oh, poor rabbit.
By the time the rabbit
Oh, no.
managed to get to the other side of the field, she had been beautifully trimmed without a single mistake. The father looked at his middle son, absolutely astonished. "Well, if your brothers aren't careful, then the house is certainly yours," he said. Not long after, a famous nobleman rode past the house at full gallop. The eldest brother jumped to his feet and quickly ran after him.
Oh, this is getting ridiculous now.
As the horse and rider galloped down the road, the brother sprinted after them.
I'm sorry, if someone's running at me with a hammer in their hands, I'm not stopping. I'm just going.
Without stopping, he took the old rusty shoes off the horse's feet and put on sparkling new ones.
Like magic. All running. All these things all running, guys.
Can you help the eldest brother with his task? Point to each of the horse's hooves with the Wii remote and press the A button to remove the old horseshoe. Then press the A button again to put a new shoe in its place. Good. That's it for the old horseshoes. This hoof is done. Now for the other. Look at those shiny new horseshoes.
"Wow," said his father when he returned to the house. "You're as skilled as your brother. I don't know who I can possibly give the house to." The youngest brother looked sad, since he had no easy way to show off his skills with a sword. Suddenly, it started to rain.
Okay.
All started to grumble at the weather, apart from the youngest brother, who suddenly started to smile. He grabbed his sword and ran into the rain. He started to spin his sword in circles above his head.
Can you help the youngest brother with his demonstration? Point the Wii remote up and make circular motions to help him spin his sword. You've got it. Keep going. The rain is starting to pick up. Keep on swinging. What amazing skill!
The brother swung his sword so quickly that not a single drop of rain fell on him. Even when it started to rain harder, he stayed perfectly dry.
That is so ridiculous.
His father looked shocked, gave the youngest brother a big hug, and said, "You have done the best. The house now belongs to you." The two elder brothers were quite happy with the decision, since they loved each other so much, and they all decided to live together in the house forever. The brothers continued with the trades they had chosen, became very famous, and led long, happy, prosperous lives. The end.
Well, that was an interesting story. Boy.
Aladdin. In a hot desert land, many years ago and far away, lived an old woman and her careless, idle son named Aladdin. Aladdin enjoyed nothing more than to play ball all day long in the streets outside his home with his many friends.
Hey, Kafka. Oh, love the name choice. I used to have, years ago, I used to have Kafka's Laugh. One of my alerts, like a long time ago. That laugh is so good. Yes, it's story time. So many stories.
One day, when he was playing in the streets as usual, a stranger asked him if he was the son of Mustafa the tailor, to which Aladdin answered that he was. Upon hearing this, the stranger immediately hugged Aladdin. "I am your uncle, and I come from very far away," said the stranger. "I knew you had to be my nephew, since you look just like my brother did." Together they went to Aladdin's house to find his mother.
Can you help Aladdin find his mother? Point to objects in the house and press the A button to find her. She's not here. There she is.
Aladdin's uncle asked his mother what he did all day. After learning that Aladdin spent his days playing in the street, his uncle offered to teach him a trade and set him up in a shop.
There's more of these in the Wii too. I don't really know if I want to do another one after this. I think one will be good for now when we finish this one.
A few weeks later, Aladdin and his uncle took a day off work to visit some beautiful gardens outside the city. They travelled all day, almost to the edge of the mountains. Finally, they came to a narrow valley. "Let's stop here for a while," said Aladdin's uncle. "I want to show you something wonderful. But first, gather some sticks for me so I can start a fire."
Can you help, Aladdin? Point to each of the 5 sticks lying on the floor and press the A button to collect it for a fire. Good start. Only 2 more. Great work. That should be enough to make a fire.
When the fire was lit, Aladdin's uncle threw some sparkling powder on it, while saying some magical words. The earth started to tremble, and an opening appeared in the ground. Aladdin tried to run, but his uncle stopped him. "I am not your uncle," the man began, "but a magician from a faraway land. In my books I found tales of a magical lamp hidden here, which will make me the most powerful man in the world. However, because of a curse placed upon me, it is impossible for me to go down into the tunnels." "Go down the stairs and go through the hall that you find. Go past the garden of fruit trees to a terrace where a single lamp stands. Bring the lamp to me, and we will be rich together."
Riches. Woo.
Aladdin was frightened, but he bravely made his way down into the darkness and found everything as the magician had said. He made his way through the hall and then walked into the garden of fruit trees.
Can you help Aladdin collect some fruits from the garden? Point to each of the 4 fruits with the Wii remote and press the A button to collect them.
Some of these fruits look a little odd.
What amazing fruit! Just 1 more. That should be enough. Time to move on and find that lamp.
Aladdin quickly walked down a hallway full of sculptures made from gold and silver, each of which was so beautiful they took his breath away. However, he dared not touch any of them. Finally, Aladdin reached the lamp. He emptied it of oil and then noticed an old golden ring sitting next to it. He grabbed the lamp and the ring and quickly ran back to the entrance of the caves where the magician waited. The magician saw Aladdin at the bottom of the stairs. "Throw me the lamp," he cried out. However, Aladdin thought the magician might run off with the lamp and abandon him, and he refused to surrender it until he was safely out of the cave. The magician flew into a rage, and in his anger threw a fistful of powder onto the fire. He shouted more magical words, and the ground closed up, trapping Aladdin in the caves. For hours Aladdin sat crying in the dark. As he dried his face, he quite accidentally rubbed the golden ring he had found. Suddenly there was a flash of light, and a genie appeared.
"I am the genie of the ring," said the genie, "and I will obey you in all things. What do you need?"
"Take me home, away from these caves," sobbed Aladdin, and with a flash he was back home. Aladdin found his mother and showed her the ring, lamp, and the fruits from the trees, which turned out to be not fruits but precious stones. Aladdin's mother held the lamp and gave it a rub to clean it.
Can you help Aladdin's mother clean the lamp? Point at any dirty spots with the Wii remote and hold down the A button to clean them up.
Clean the lamp.
There sure is a lot of dust. It's looking much nicer. Keep going.
Just so you know, throughout the storybook things, these things have been making sounds in the Wii remote. Like it's making like a squeaky sound in the Wii remote when I do this. I don't know if you guys hear it, but
Something amazing is happening.
Suddenly a second genie appeared.
"I am the genie of the lamp,"
It said.
"and I will obey you in all things. What do you need?"
Aladdin asked for a table full of delicious food, since he was so hungry from his adventure, and in a flash it appeared.
got two genies.
The next day, Aladdin was walking through the streets when he saw the Sultan's beautiful daughter, the princess, heading back to the palace, protected by a group of guards. Upon seeing her face, Aladdin fell instantly in love. He rushed home to plead with his mother for help. So she placed the magic fruit gems in a napkin and headed to see the Sultan in his palace. Every day for a week, Aladdin's mother waited patiently for an audience with the Sultan, until one day when she finally managed to talk to him. "Please take these beautiful gems," she said, "as an offering from my son, so that he can marry your daughter, the princess." The Sultan was so shocked and didn't know what to say. He turned to his closest adviser. "What should I do?" the Sultan asked. "Shouldn't I let her son marry the princess, if he values her so highly to offer these beautiful gems?" The adviser, who secretly wanted the princess to marry his own son, gave the Sultan a list of tasks that he knew no common man could complete. The Sultan turned to Aladdin's mother and said, "Good woman, a sultan always keeps his promises, and your son will marry the princess if he first sends me 40 golden basins filled to the brim with gems, all carried by servants, each of which is splendidly dressed." Quite sad, and thinking there was no way her son could find such a huge number of gems, Aladdin's mother returned home and told him what the Sultan had said. Aladdin smiled and picked up the lamp. Suddenly the genie appeared, and moments later dozens of splendidly dressed servants carrying golden basins filled with gems stood around them. The basins and the gems were carried to the palace, followed by Aladdin's smiling mother. Entering the palace, Aladdin's mother presented the gems to the Sultan, who was overjoyed. "Good woman," he said, "return to your son and tell him I await him with open arms." Aladdin was thrilled, but needing a new horse and beautiful robes for his meeting with the Sultan, he grabbed the magical lamp once again.
Can you help Aladdin rub the lamp? Point at the lamp with the Wii remote, hold down the A button, and move it left and right to rub. Keep going. The genie is moving around inside the lamp. The genie used its magic to help Aladdin.
Dressed like a prince, Aladdin rode into the palace, where the Sultan embraced him. Aladdin told the Sultan that before the marriage ceremony he wanted to build the princess a beautiful palace. He returned home and rubbed the lamp once more. Again the genie appeared, and Aladdin told him what he needed. "Build me a palace of the finest marble, set with the most precious stones," he said. "In the middle there should be a large hall with a dome, and all the windows should be hung with beautiful fabrics." The palace was finished in no time, and the genie had even laid a red velvet carpet which ran from Aladdin's palace to the Sultan's. That night the princess said goodbye to the Sultan and followed the carpet to Aladdin's palace. The next day Aladdin and the princess were married. They shared a wedding feast with all their friends and danced until midnight. For many years they lived happily together in the beautiful palace. Far away, the evil magician heard about the beautiful palace and remembered the boy he once left trapped underground. Using magic, he discovered that Aladdin had survived and now lived in the grand palace with his princess wife. Knowing that Aladdin could only have accomplished all of this by using the magical lamp, the evil magician travelled for many days and nights until he reached the town where Aladdin lived, planning to steal the magical lamp from the palace. Unluckily, Aladdin had just left the palace to go hunting. So the evil magician went to the local market and bought a dozen new copper lamps.
Can you pick out 4 different lamps? Point to each lamp with the Wii remote and press the A button to select it. 1 lamp. That's 2. And another. What could the magician want with all these lamps?
The evil magician put the lamps in a basket and headed towards Aladdin's palace, shouting, "New lamps for old, new lamps for old," as he walked. The princess heard the old man from inside the palace and sent a servant to see what the noise was all about. "He's just a poor old fool," the servant said. "We should give him that old lamp in the corner and get a shiny
Yeah.
new one."
Clever, clever. Very clever indeed.
The princess, not knowing that the old lamp in the corner was Aladdin's magical lamp, told the servant to make the exchange. With the magical lamp in his hand, the magician ran out of town, where he sat on a rock and gave the lamp a rub.
The magician wants to call out the genie of the lamp. Point at the lamp with the Wii remote, hold down the A button, and move it left and right to rub. The genie doesn't seem to want to come out. The magic of the lamp is working now. The genie has appeared.
Once again the genie appeared, and the evil magician was thrilled. He told the genie to transport Aladdin's palace and the princess back to his homeland, many miles away, and immediately it was done. Aladdin returned from his hunting trip and was astonished to find that his palace had vanished. He asked everyone around town what had happened, and nobody knew. Finally, he found a young boy who told him that he had seen an old man running from the palace holding an old lamp. And immediately Aladdin knew that the magician from his past had returned and taken everything that he held dear. Suddenly, Aladdin had an idea and rushed back to his mother's house, where he had hidden the magical ring many years before inside a red jar.
Can you help Aladdin find the magical ring he hid in a red jar inside his mother's house? Point to the red jar with the Wii remote and press the A button. You found the jar and the ring is inside.
He rubbed the ring and the genie appeared. "Please," Aladdin pleaded, "bring back my palace and princess." However, the genie looked at him with sadness in his eyes. "I am only the genie of the ring, and I do not have that power. To do that you must speak to the genie of the lamp," he said. Remembering how the genie of the ring had saved him from the caves many years before, he had a thought. "Genie," he said, "if you cannot bring the palace to me, then send me to the palace." And in a flash, Aladdin vanished. Looking up, Aladdin found himself outside the palace, underneath a room where his princess sat, singing a sad song to herself. The princess had been so miserable after losing Aladdin that she would sit alone for hours, hiding away from the evil magician.
Can you help Aladdin get the princess's attention? Swing the Wii remote up to throw a pebble at her window. 3 should do the trick. Good throw, but the princess didn't hear you, though.
Come on.
You
Yep.
hit the window, but nothing happened. Try one more. You did it!
The princess opened the window to see who was throwing stones, and amazed at seeing Aladdin again, climbed down from the window and kissed him. "How did I get here? How did you get here?" the princess asked. And Aladdin explained everything: the story of the cave, the ring, the lamp, and of how the princess had been tricked by the evil magician. The princess sighed. "We will never get the lamp back," she said. "The magician carries it with him all day and night." Aladdin had an idea and rushed into the nearest town, where he bought some magical sleeping powder from a merchant, then sprinted back to the palace, where the princess let him in through a side door. He quickly explained his plan to her. Aladdin snuck into the cellar below the palace and placed a little of the magical powder in each of the sparkling apple juice bottles he found there.
Guess I'm doing this, right? No, oh, maybe not. But they make me do it. Oh no, here we go.
Can you help Aladdin put his plan into action? Point to each of the 6 corks with the Wii remote and press the A button to open it. That's it. Keep going. Half are done. Only 3 left. Only 1 bottle left. Great work! Now the magical powder can be mixed with the apple juice.
Upstairs, the princess put on her most beautiful gown and called for the evil magician. "I have forgotten Aladdin," she said, "and I wish to marry you. But first, you must get something for us to drink, so we can have a toast to celebrate." The magician rushed to the cellar and picked up a bottle of apple juice, not seeing Aladdin hiding in a dark corner. Back upstairs, he poured the juice into 2 glasses and handed one to the princess. The magician made a speech, praising the princess's beauty, and drank from his glass while the princess only pretended to. A strange look appeared in the magician's eyes, and he fell to the ground fast asleep, never to awake again. Aladdin burst into the room and embraced the princess. He quickly grabbed the lamp from the evil magician and summoned the genie. "Take us and the palace Back home, please, genie, said Aladdin. And in a flash it was done. Aladdin and the princess were never troubled by the magician ever again, and they lived happily ever after. The end.
I never heard that version of the story. It's a very dark version.
Paul Bunyan. Deep in the middle of America. Paul Bunyan.
Okay, wait. Right. Get myself confused.
Paul Bunyan. Deep in the middle of America lived a very unusual boy who went by the name of Paul Bunyan. Paul was not like other boys. There were short boys, medium-sized boys, tall boys, really tall boys, really, really tall boys, and then there was Paul Bunyan. Paul was so massive that it took whole teams of tailors working night and day for weeks to make new clothing for him. Tailors would turn up from all over the country to show Paul the new clothing they had designed specially for him.
Can you help Paul pick some new clothing? Point to an article of clothing with the Wii remote and press the A button to have Paul try it on.
I mean, we definitely want the shirt that says ball on it.
The tailor showed Paul a new blue t-shirt which he had created. "It took me 7 months to create this t-shirt," he told Paul proudly. However, no matter how many new pieces of clothing Paul saw, he would only wear his favorite clothes. When they became dirty, he washed them. If they ripped, they would be patched up. But he refused to wear anything else. Now, Paul's closest friend was Babe, and Babe was a big blue ox, almost as big as Paul himself. Everyone who saw Babe agreed that he was the biggest, strongest ox which had ever existed. Nobody knew where Paul first found Babe, but while he helped Paul a great deal over the years, he also caused a great amount of trouble. Babe could never be kept for more than 1 night at a camp, since he would eat a whole year's worth of food in just 24 hours. So Paul and Babe travelled from camp to camp, town to town, and from one state to the next. In fact, Babe's footprints were so deep that men would often fall into them when it was dark, and could only be rescued using a long rope.
Can you help the poor man out of the hole? point to the rope with the Wii remote, hold down the A button, and quickly pull the Wii remote toward you 5 times. Give it a good heave. Keep pulling. The rope goes down forever. I think I see something. The man is safe. Good work.
Once a settler, his wife, and his baby fell into one of the holes made by Babe, and only when the sun got out, when he was 57 years old, did anyone learn about the accident. One day, Paul decided that he needed a hobby. He thought about fishing, he thought about camping, and then he had an idea. He decided to make a house for himself out of wood. Paul made an axe out of the largest piece of rock he could find and the trunk of the tallest tree, and he started to chop and chop and chop.
Can you help Paul chop down some trees? Swing the Wii remote left or right in a chopping motion to help Paul collect some wood.
Chopping time.
Good. This tree is a stubborn one. Halfway through.
Come on, chop. There you
Looks
go.
like it's
Got it.
about to fall. Look out below!
Paul cleared a quarter of the trees in Oregon by the time he had finished his house. And while the house was absolutely terrible and of no use to anyone, Paul had invented the practice of logging. Paul and Babe took to logging like ducks take to water, and while it was just the two of them at the start, they had some great adventures together. If there was a path up into the mountains which was too crooked, he would tie a chain from Babe to one end of the path. And Babe would pull as hard as he could.
Can you help Babe fix the crooked path? Point to Babe with the Wii remote. Hold down the A button and quickly pull the Wii remote toward you 5 times to help. Pull! This is hard work. I think it's moving. There it goes again. Wow! The road is as straight as an arrow now.
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
And the path would be straightened out in no time at all. In the past, axes were sharpened by rolling rocks down a hill with someone running next to them holding the head of an axe to the rock. But Paul Bunyan was smart, and he rigged together the first revolving rock, which he used to sharpen his massive axe.
The first rock was so huge that by the time it had turned once, it was already payday again for Paul's logging crew. One day, Paul was so fed up of having to abandon work at night that he installed the northern lights in the sky so that there was always light available for him to see the trees.
Oh yeah. Look at them light bulbs.
Time passed, and soon Paul became known as the best and fastest logger in the land. One day he was suddenly contacted by the mayor of a new city. Paul was asked to deliver logs 100 miles upstream to the location where the new city was being built. Paul climbed up a huge mountain, looked around, and saw 3 sprawling forests. However, he couldn't decide which should be used to build the new city.
Can you help Paul pick which trees to cut down?
Ugh.
Point to a section of forest with the Wii remote and press the A button to select it.
Guess we'll take these.
Paul slid down towards the forest and, feeling thirsty, drank deeply from a river nearby. When he was full, he headed back into the forest. So, Paul set about chopping down all the trees in the forest. He chopped and he chopped and he chopped.
Can you help Paul chop some wood? Swing the Wii remote left or right in a chopping motion to help Paul cut down a good tree.
More chopping. Chop.
These trees are huge.
Yeah, Fred, Kev, some weird stuff going on here.
That was a great swing.
I didn't know these kind of twists on these tales.
Keep going. Nearly there. Timber!
Now all other loggers would have been stumped. How do you send logs upstream, up one of the most twisted, winding rivers in the world? Firstly, he trekked all the way to the North Pole. When he arrived, he found himself thirsty. So he pulled a huge wood plane out of his pocket and used it on a nearby frozen mountain.
Can you help Paul use the huge plane on the frozen mountain? Quickly move the Wii remote forward and backward to help Paul shave ice off the mountainside. This ought to make a nice, cool drink. The ice is starting to pile up. Almost finished. Phew! That was a lot of ice. Well done.
Using the ice shavings from the mountain and some sticky maple syrup from all the trees he had been cutting down, Paul created the world's first snow cone. Next, he used his giant axe
axe on the same mountain to chop off a huge chunk of ice. He dragged the chunk of ice across the frozen plains up to the edge of the water. Paul then floated the ice back to his logging camp, creating the world's first iceberg.
He's just creating everything.
When Paul and the ice reached the camp, he pushed it into the river, freezing it instantly so that it could be straightened out. Next, he took a huge chain, tied one end to Babe and the other end to the near end of the river.
Are we making a giant luge? Are we making like, an ice ramp?
And Babe pulled and pulled and pulled.
Can you help Babe straighten the frozen river? Point to Babe with the Wii remote. Hold down the A button and quickly pull the Wii remote toward you 5 times. You can do it, Babe. I think it's working. Getting there. Almost done. Well done. Look at how straight that river is.
And suddenly, with a loud pop, the river straightened right out. A huge grin appeared on Paul's face. Soon after, the icy river began to melt, and the water ran free again.
Oh no, we're just, okay. Regular, no ice. Sure.
Finally, Paul and Babe started to make their way upstream, travelling for days along the bank of the river. They passed forests and mountains, saw all sorts of animals and settlements, and finally went past the new city which was being built. One morning they reached exactly what Paul was looking for, a huge mountain made entirely of salt. Paul knew that salt was Babe's favourite treat, and Babe started to lick hungrily at the side of the mountain. Soon, Babe became so thirsty from all the salt that he started to run around, frantically trying to find something to drink. He ran up to the river, where he greedily started to drink all the water he could. He drank and drank, and as the water was sucked upstream, the logs needed to build the city came with it. The mayor and the residents of the city were so thankful that they built a giant golden statue of Paul and Babe in the middle of the town.
But why was there a mountain of salt? And then now the town has no water or anyone else across the country because you drank it all.
As the sun set, Paul and Babe wandered off into the forest, heading far away from the city they had helped build, in search of new friends and new adventures.
I guess it's some way you can twist it to make it work out, right? It's still weird. Far-fetched, but yeah, I know it's still like a children's tale, so I guess they gotta make it work somehow.
The end.
Okay.
Jack and the
No,
Beanstalk.
I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, I wanted to go to options. Credits. Now, I don't know if the credits are different for each one. Not sure. I did, all 4 stories. I'm guessing you missed some of them? Hmm. Yeah, these seem like kind of... Oh no, I closed out the credits, dang it. Oops, I gotta do it again. Ah. Yeah, there was Jack and the Beanstalk, there was the 3 brothers, there was Aladdin, and then Paul Bunyan. Those are the 4 stories. No credit, no music for the credits. So quiet. I don't like when they do this. Okay, so this is general credits. See, they're going over the stuff. Oh, they had multiple languages. That's cool. Neat. Very nice. Guessing they want me to hit a button? Alright, guys, that is Story Hour Adventures for the Nintendo Wii.